Oh, come on, don't update my firmware now. That's going pretty fast. You just get on your bike, go out, clear your mind, and just enjoy the ride. When you're sitting on that saddle and riding for 3 to 4 or 5 hours at a time by yourself, you have a lot of time to think. Whenever I have a creative block or something, I like to get out and ride, and I think maybe that's why I take a lot of pictures. I used to ride with groups and racing, but I started enjoying just riding more and taking time to stop and see things. When you see something like this, you don't pass it up. Stop for just at least a minute, you know, and enjoy it. I love sharing my rides with other people. I look for things to take pictures of, something that's unique, anything that, you know, strikes my, you know, catches my eye. If I'm out riding, I see an old barn. I really like to take pictures of old barns. Something that makes you happy, and finding a way to be able to share that with others. So I'll see cows and all kinds of farm animals, and I like to give them names, talk to them, because I don't ride by them just once. You know, I use the same route, you know, so I go by and I saw these couple donkeys, and I'm like, hey, it's Bill and Ted, you know. I don't know why, but, you know, I guess the movie. I just walked up to the fence and called them, and they came over, started hanging out with them. So I'll probably bring some carrots or something, you know, give them a little snack. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like you can see as far as the eye can see, and it's just nothing out there. And sometimes it's like, you know, if it's a gravel road and I'm on this bike, it's just fun to ride down the gravel roads. So I actually saw one back down there when I was going up the hill. I think it was 1950. I'm going to put that on my list and go back and check it out. It actually went from gravel to grass. But if there's a road sign, I'm riding it. As long as it's got a road sign. A lot of times in this crazy wind, you cannot hear cars coming from behind you. And a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, you know, don't you hear me? I mean, there's a car behind you, move over. Like, we can't hear the cars until they're right beside us, especially if it's a Prius. You know, you're not going to hear that thing. So this radar is like the best money ever spent. Definitely save your life. When I'm out riding, I get to meet people. Ray Spooner, I met him on my first bike ride. I was out leaving my neighborhood, and I had saw this guy go by wearing a cycling kit. And I'm like, okay, he looks pretty serious. Let me catch up with this guy. So I was like, you mind if I ride with you? And he's like, no, that's cool. Go ahead. So he finally said something to me, and I couldn't really understand him. And then so we stopped, and he said, sorry for my voice. He said, I have ALS. I told him, I said, well, I want to make you a website for your blog, because he was doing this fundraiser ride to ride across the U.S. So I made a blog for him and tracked his progress and everything. I think he ended up raising like $80,000. A little worse off, a little sooner, I think, than what the doctors and he had hoped. But toward the end of his life, I was getting ready to go out on a big ride across Iowa called Ragbri. It's where you ride across the entire state in 5 days. And before I left, I stopped by his house and asked him if I could start a ride in his honor to continue his fundraising. And he said, yeah, but it's got to be long. And that's what Ray told me when I complained about the wind. He said, it's always a problem. There's always a complaint and a reason not to ride. It's too cold. He says, it's too hot. It's too windy. He liked the F word. And he said, F it, man. He said, just ride.